you're welcome to another episode of Property Doctor. We're sorry we are behind time and also want to thank you for being patient and waiting for the show. But I know you're not going to miss out on anything today. Today we'll be fixing rising damp on the wall. I'm sure you're surprised why you're seeing a block here, but I need to explain to you why this block is here. Now, where do you see rising damp? You see rising damp on the floors in buildings and on the walls. That's why I actually brought this block here so that I can explain it to you. Now, this is a 9 inches hollow block, which is a 225 by 450 mm kind of block. It is a hollow block. We also have another type of block, which is the solid block. There's no hollow in it. You can see this here. We also have brick. This is a brick kind of wall, and it's this is a brick, and it has hollow in it. So this kind of materials or blocks are used to erect walls. Sometimes you have steel walls, you have concrete walls, and so on. But when a building is, when you start your foundation and you use your blocks to start the foundation, you have to put the damp proof course, which is the DPC. You put the damp proof course on the block at the foundation. If you do this properly, you will not have rising damp in the wall. Now, if you don't want to have rising damp on the entire floor of the building, that means you have to put a DPM, which is a damp proof membrane. So this is just a cellophane kind of paper, but it's thicker and it can protect the wall. Sometimes if you put this but the walls are not properly connected and you have a breach on the wall, you find out that water can still rise up the wall. Sometimes if this is destroyed, that is if the DPC is destroyed, as the damp proof course is destroyed, you can see water seeping out through the place where it is destroyed up on the wall. And any water that is coming out of the ground most of the time has some salt. This is the reason why when you see the water rising up, it changes the color of the wall and the wall starts peeling. It starts breaking. The paint will come off, the wallpaper will come off, and you see it whitish, or sometimes it will be grayish in color, different colors. It depends on the kind of salt that is in the ground. And this is what affects the wall. Sometimes it breaks off the tiles, sometimes it breaks off the paper and the wallpaper on the wall, even the paint. So it is a serious problem, and during this period that is the raining season, we need to treat this damp rising on the wall to prevent problems, to prevent us spoiling things in the house. Because anywhere you see dampness in the house, you see mold and you see different things growing at that particular side, and the air in the room or in the house will not be clean enough. So I'll need to put this down right now so that I can explain how you treat the damp rising on the wall. So we're going to use two methods. We're going to use the dry rods. This is the ultimate rising damp treatment using the dry rod. I hope you can see this very well. This is the dry rod. It's a rising damp treatment. We also have the damp rising treatment. This is a cream. This is a cream. There's also a damp seal. This is a spray. And this is also another kind of paint to prevent dampness. And this is a water seal, which you can find easily here in Nigeria. So what is dampness? Dampness is moisture in our homes. And we have seen one of the ways in which water can come into the building through from the ground, through rising damp. There are other methods in which water can come into the building. It can come in maybe through rain penetration from outside. When it's raining and it's splashing on the wall, it can make the wall cold. Sometimes normal activities that we do in the house, like bathing, like cooking, like washing, and all those things makes the house damp. And if you have this kind of problem, there are also other solutions to it. If you watch our video, one of the videos we had in the past that said why you should open your windows when cooking, you see how to manage dampness generally in the home. But today we are talking about rising damp. So we have seen one of the reasons why, the major reason why you have damp rising on the wall. Just because this thing, as cheap as it is and as simple as it looks, if it's not there, the cost is very, very expensive. So we'll show you how we treated it on the wall. At first, when we got to this particular building, we had to scrape the wall because at that time the wall has been damaged and the mortar falling off. The mortar on the wall is falling off. You can see it, the wall is damaged and the mortar is falling off. You can see it's so flaky and it's not looking good to the eyes. So we had to scrape it, scrape all the paint that is weak and the mortar that is weak. We scraped that portion of the wall. I had to scrape it off. After scraping it properly, but you know, some parts could not come off entirely, but I tried to scrape it very well. Now, I had to drill, but before I drilled it, I checked the distance from the floor to the height of the block, because I was looking for the joint of the block inside the ground and the first block on the foundation. But on this particular wall, you will see that there is a tile skirting there, and I didn't want to destroy that tile. You can see the color of the tile there, the blue tile. I didn't want to destroy it. So after measuring, I measured about 10 mm upwards, then I started drilling. I drilled at about 150 center to center distance. The same hole you are drilling. Treatment to prevent dampness from rising on the wall. So you can see after the drilling, I just brought out my damp rods, just like this. This is the damp rods. I cleaned the portion where I drilled, dusted everything very well, and I inserted just this damp rod inside the wall. So, you know, looking at this block, you will see what I did. This is a 225 block that is on this table here. So I just inserted, let's take for instance, the mortar was here and I drilled the wall. So the damp rods entered on this point. So I introduced these rods at 150 interval, 150 mm interval. So assuming this is the wall, I introduced one here, another one here, and another one here. So I took that throughout on the wall. By the time I finished, I just covered up with a silicone. Now, if you don't get this, these dry rods, because this dry rods is supposed to, at the end of the day, provide a covering that is almost cellophane like this. But it will just provide this sheet like a glass. It will cover, it will spread at the top here, and it will do exactly what this was supposed to do. But if you don't have damp rods, you can also use this cream. It's also from Dry Zone. It treats rising damp as well. So with this one, what I did was
this looks actually messy.
Covered it here. You can see here, and I sprayed into the wall. I sprayed it into the wall like this. Assuming this was where I drilled on the wall, so I just sprayed it inside. So this
so this looks actually,
and it was flowing very well, and it came out because it was already full. But I don't really like using this particular product because it looks so messy. The rods are so simple. You just insert one and it's easy. But this one, you have to do a lot of cleaning because of the excess one that will flow out, because you need to make it full to be sure that you have enough inside the holes. Now, after inserting the dry rod and after inserting the dry rod, I use the silicone to cover it. But on this one, I just wiped it clean because I know it was going to dry off, and I used the silicone also to cover it. I just try to make sure that all the materials I put in the wall to do its job effectively is protected by a silicone outside. Now, generally on the wall, you will notice that the wall is damp, and it wasn't really looking nice. So it was causing some kind of air to be polluted in the house. So what I did was I used a damp seal. You can see all these things, you can do them by yourself. This is a damp seal. You can get this in a shop. You buy it and just spray it, just like you spray a perfume or a deodorant on your body. Just spray it on the wall. So I just sprayed it on the wall. This too will provide the same thing. It will provide the same sealing, covering on the wall to prevent water from entering into the house. So this is truly a do-it-yourself method to prevent dampness in your home, and it's going to save you some money. Instead of getting a professional to do it for you, you can do this yourself and save some money. Here in Nigeria, we see more of a water seal. Now with this one, you need to mix with cement, mix a portion of this with cement and water, then you cover the wall. This is just for a surface. You just cover the wall with it. But if you want a thorough protection from rising damp, you use the rod or the cream, because this is providing a covering, shielding the water from rising from the ground. Somebody was asking me while I was doing this job that suppose she doesn't have a drilling machine, because I use a drilling machine to drill the walls, to drill the holes on the wall. She said, what if you don't have a drilling machine? I said, okay, if you have a sharp object and maybe a hammer or something, you can use it to drill the wall carefully, although it might be a bit difficult, but you can also use a sharp object that is pointed to drill the wall, even up to 10 mm, so that it penetrates the wall very well. So this is quite simple, and you can prevent your tiles on the wall. You can prevent wallpaper. You can also prevent, you can protect your tiles on the wall. Sorry, you can protect your wallpaper. You can protect your paint. You can protect the wall itself from being very weak and not giving you the kind of look that you want. I can see that some questions are coming in, and the question is saying, what if you're staying in maybe a riverine area and there's a lot of water coming out from the wall? You see, this DPC or this damp-proof course or damp-proof membrane, they are of different thickness. There are some that are thicker than this. Now, if you have a problem, you see that place is really saturated with water, then you use a thicker one, a stronger membrane, so that you are sure that it is totally protected. Now, for other methods of preventing dampness in the house, generally, this is not our topic, because I finished with this topic of managing or fixing dampness, rising damp, which you can do by yourself. Other simple things that you can do is maybe open your windows and make sure your home is properly ventilated. You can use a dehumidifier to remove excess water from the house. You can also make sure that you don't spread wet clothes or damp clothes inside the house to protect the house. Then move your furniture away from the wall, especially the walls that are facing outside. so that water from outside doesn't flow inside the house through the wall to damage your furniture. I hope you have learned something today from this simple method and do-it-yourself method of fixing rising damp in your home. And I want to know how many of you can try this on the comment section below. Thank you for joining us. We are so grateful for those of you who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. We are so grateful for you subscribing to our channel, and we are also thanking those who follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. For those of you who want to join us now to become part of our family, we thank you for making that decision today. And you can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Property Doctor NG and on Twitter at Property Doc NG. See you next time. Bye.